What do we say, fam? Welcome to another episode of Simple Church, where we have made church really, really simple. And today we got something pretty incredible in store. And so be that it's Simple Church, that means we don't have to stay in the building. We got somewhere to go. TC,
Sir.
Where are we headed?
I'm your driver. I'm taking you to Old Ellicott City today. Sound good?
Let's rock.
Let's go.
How long have you had these bad boys?
10 years?
Let's talk about these.
I have those because I have very light blue eyes. They're very sensitive.
There's no excuse for these.
Listen, they're functional. I'm not wearing them for this shoot. You see which ones I'm wearing here.
Right. But even if you have very sensitive eyes, you should go blind before you rock these.
You been to Old Ellicott City before?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty nice over there. They got some good vibe feel, good restaurants.
Yes, it does. Gordon Ramsay's got a new place there, does he not?
Yeah. Well, he did a show where he went help fix an area up.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if he actually is. I don't think Gordon Ramsay's in one of the kitchens, but I know he's been involved there.
Right.
But they also they have a lot of different kinds of stores there and stuff, and they got stores that got weird tchotchkes, and there's one store that has
What are tchotchkes?
just like little knickknacks, little interesting things.
Like clutter.
You're a minimalist, so yeah, you will not get any tchotchkes. But one of them also has a whole bunch of weird, so a whole wall of weird sodas. And so I wanted to take you and just kind of show you those.
I'm not really into weird sodas.
What kind of crazy person would be into weird sodas? I mean, we're
Well
doing it because
said.
it's fun and funny.
This is true.
Here we go.
Little baking soda.
Bacon soda or bacon soda?
Baking
soda. Yeah. They got some weird stuff going on here.
No, but
it's
for real
fun.
though, do you
funny.
like? Look at that little peanut butter and jelly. Do you like carrot cake?
No, I'm not a carrot
Oh
cake
my
guy.
gosh.
I don't like anything that sounds healthy.
I didn't make it to the gym today. That makes 3 years in a row. I just ordered a Life Alert bracelet, so if I ever get a life, I'll be notified immediately.
That's not bad.
Hey, is there anyone in here that I could give to somebody and not deeply offend them, cost me my relationship with them?
We can get this one for Thompson. In ancient Egypt, cats were considered to be gods, and they have not forgotten about it.
Oh.
Me and Thompson, some of the few cat people on staff around here.
I didn't know you were a cat person.
I just put a deposit on a new kitten to be born next summer.
Hold up, time out. What do you mean you put a
Deposit on a kitten.
what kind of kitten?
Bengal cat. Oh yeah. There's different kinds of cats, Sammy. They're not all.
Hey, no there isn't. No there isn't. And you're not gonna sell me on that standing in this store. But that's unbelievable. How much was that deposit?
I'd rather not get into that.
Okay.
None of this is making it into the episode.
Okay. No, this all needs to make it in the episode. I want everybody to know what kind of guy we're dealing with.
So one of the things I like best about Ellicott City is Old Ellicott City. It knows who it is. It's not trying to be something it ain't. There's no skyscrapers. There's no big box
Absolutely.
stores. It's small stores, small restaurants. It knows its vibe, and it's not pretentious or anything like that. I just enjoy it. I feel comfy.
It feels very comfy in its own skin. Although it does have its quirks, weirdness about it. I love Ellicott City. It's a great place. I think up here is a perfect place to have a little chat.
No doubt.
I want to ask you a question. It's a big question. And that is, what is your degree of contentment? I mean, how satisfied are you? How settled are you? How, when you consider your life and where you are, what is your degree of gratitude in the midst of it? And know this, that I think the answer to that question concerning your and my contentment will ultimately determine whether or not you lead a rich and full life or a life that's subpar to the standard that God intended that we live at. See, the matter of contentment is huge, and it's not one that I came up with or that I feel like I should spotlight. It was actually the Apostle Paul writing to his young protege Timothy that made this statement. He said, godliness with contentment is great wealth. Some translations actually say that godliness with contentment is great gain. Ultimately, what Paul was saying is that those that are godly and those that are content, well, they're people that live an accelerated life, a robust life, a full life. And so often when you ask people whether or not they are content, well, immediately their mind goes to whether or not they're content when it comes to their materials or possessions. Do they have enough, or do they want more? They also go to places like their marriage and or their relationships. Are they happy with those that they're with? Or do they feel like they need to have someone else or better relationships? And then some people, they are discontent because they consider their circumstances and situations. They feel like they want to be in a different place in life, or further along in life, or have more ease in life. All of which are very relative and very true, but know this, none of which are contingent on contentment. When Paul was talking about contentment, truth be told, none of those things mattered to him. And see, the reality is, as it's been said, that contentment can make a poor man feel rich, and discontentment can make a rich man feel poor. See, I believe that the way that God designed you and I to walk with Him, to live in Him, and actually feel because of our closeness to Him should result in contentment. No matter your degree of money and or materials, your degree of relationships and those around you, or even your circumstances and situations. When Paul said that godliness with contentment results in great wealth, you got to understand how he described godliness. First, when Paul spoke of godliness, he meant the divine practice, or the practice of God's divine precepts. Really, that meant that Paul was inferring that we live according to God's instructions and His plan for life rather than our own. That he said results in a healthy purity and virtue. But Paul was saying that godly people are people that put into practice what God set forth in Scripture, and as a result, they grow healthy in purity and virtue. But Paul described contentment, I think, in a way that we never really consider. Paul's definition of contentment was that it results in satisfied, happy lives with three things: who you are, what you have, and where you are in life. Let me say it again. Contentment, according to Paul's definition, is who you are, being satisfied in it, happy with it, what you have, and where you are in life. And again, none of that is contingent on so often our Western view and our very sort of consumeristic view of life. Who you are, what you have, and where you are in life. Can I tell you real quick who you are? You are the very apple of God's eye. That He loved you and I so much that He wanted to demonstrate it by going to the cross so as to make a way that we could be in relationship with Him. His very divine fingerprint is on your life. That He made you purposefully and uniquely individually. That He so loves you that He fearfully and wonderfully created you. He saw your whole lifespan from the end all the way from the beginning. That He sees you and He knows you. He knows all the idiosyncrasies within you, and He put His fingerprint upon you. That He named you and He understands everything about you. Paul said when you get that, actually you're not trying to be somebody else or want somebody else's portion in life or want to become more like someone else as much as you revel in who God said you are. Can I just say real clearly, you are not your past, neither are you your mistakes or even your regrets. You are defined by the God who created you and loves you. But second to that, is what you have, the Apostle Peter says that God has given us, by His divine power, everything that we need for life and godliness. Be the fact that His Holy Spirit resides within you, you have everything you need. This is why the Apostle Paul would go on to say, I have found the ability to be content, whether my belly is full or I'm starving, whether I have abundance or I have nothing. He said, actually, I have learned to be content in all things. When Paul was poor, he felt rich. Why? Because of contentment. By His divine power and according to His incredible splendor, He's given you and I everything we need, even if your material possessions are in lack. Still, that's how good our God is. But then lastly, where you are in life, as the great Prince of Preachers one time said, Charles Haddon Spurgeon, if God desired that you would be in any other place in your life than the one in which you currently find yourself, divine love would have placed you there. What that means is, in God's sovereignty and in God's goodness, God has you right where He wants you. That He said, I'm never going to leave you and I will never forsake you, and I'll use all things for the betterment of you. Even if where you currently find yourself is a struggle and it's rough and you want out, God is using it to refine you and shape you and reflect Himself through you. This is why Paul said, no matter where I am or what I have or who others say I am, I know how to be content. Why? Because he took all of his cues from the divine King of heaven. So contentment is being happy and satisfied in who you are, in what you have, and where you are in life. But can I tell you something? That may sound all well and good, but you must understand there are some enemies that are after your contentment. The first is, I wanted you to understand that in order to retain contentment, you have to stop what I call the bleed. The bleed is comparison. I think where comparison begins, contentment ends. The moment we start comparing who we are, what we have, and where we are in life to those around us, you can bet your bottom dollar contentment is over. I don't care if you find people that don't have as much as you. If you compare yourself against them, actually, then it results in pride, that you feel like in some way, shape, or form you're better than them. But if you find those that have more than you, then you find yourself discontent. This is why the Apostle Paul said, it is very unwise that I compare myself to another. So you must understand, in order to retain your contentment, when you know who you are, what you have, and where you are in life, you must stop comparing. Comparison is the death of contentment. But you must then foster gratitude. I think this day and age, when we look all around us and see things that we want, things that we don't have, people that are living filtered lives, and we compare our behind the scenes to other people's highlight reels, quickly we can lose our contentment. But if you stop the bleed and stop comparing yourself, and then make it your daily practice to cultivate gratitude in those three areas, being grateful for the way God created you, being grateful for the place that God has placed you, and being grateful for all that God has given you, contentment is then found, and a rich and full life is then experienced. The next time someone was to ask you, how content are you? I want you to consider those three areas in your life: who you are, what you have, and where you are in life. And understand that God has a lot to say about those three areas. And all three of them have been incredibly blessed by the one that created you. I think it's in that place that we find contentment, and we realize the rich and satisfying life that God intended us to lead. It's only then that we glorify the one that created us, and we find life in the way that He's designed. I love you so much. Today, find contentment.
All right, Sammy, so you said on the way over you're not into weird sodas, and then we saw those weird sodas, and the staff, because they love us, they said we have to try some of the weird sodas, so they covered the label, and we're gonna take a big old drink of something weird. And
Are
figure
these
out what we
both the
drink.
same?
I don't think so, they're different color. You wanna go first, or you want me to go first?
One's more urine than the other. Here we go.
Do we want to reshoot that? Nope, apparently not.
Oh, that's foul. That is nasty. What's that? I know what this is. What is that?
Is it butter?
Oh, that's worse than this.
Let's find out.
This is pickle juice.
It's butter. It's butter soda.
That's
You
pickle.
want to try some butter soda? Tastes like drinking popcorn. All right, much love to the staff.
Yeah, we love you guys.